All right. Okay, we are now live on Facebook and now we're recording. I'm John Mercer, president of the Las Vegas Triathlon Club, and got Bob Gamble, co-host of our member spotlight. Hey, Bob, how's it going?
Hi, folks. It's going good, John. I appreciate you starting everything off tonight.
Yeah, thank you. And we've got a repeat customer tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun. We've got Candace McCutcheon. Oh, I knew I was going to do it again.
McCutcheon.
McCutcheon.
Yes. McCutcheon.
Oh, and I practiced. I still couldn't get it. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Hey, it's going to be so much fun catching back up with you. And I'm not going to steal too much of Bob's introduction, but this will be a lot. We had a lot of fun talking with you the first time around, and it's going to be neat talking with you now about 2021, which is a very successful year, and we're looking forward to what you're going to be doing in 2022. And I can't wait to get back to the story we were just talking about sprint races being hard. All right,
yes.
I'll turn it over to Bob for the official introduction, though.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, and it's great to be here tonight, and it's really good to have Candace back on. We had her on before, and we were talking about how fast she was getting fast, and then she proved herself last year in 2021. And the reason we're having Candace on again tonight is because she was the points winner of our club races for 2021. And she did it in style. She won the August Tri. She won the June 12th, the June Triathlon, did real well in the in the other race. And then the only one she didn't do well in was the aqua bike because she didn't race. But she won. She won two of the races and finished it near the top on the third. So she deserves our point series. And this is one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is what makes her so fast and how she got that way. And then Candace has been doing triathlons since 2015. And I think 90% of the people have the same race as Candace did. What was your first race, Candace?
My first race was Rage.
Rage, that's right. So, and one of the things we're going to get started just before we went live, Candace made a comment. Oh, and Candace has done a full Ironman. She's done half a dozen 70.3s, Olympics, and of course the sprints and the club races. And she made the comment, sprints are hard. They're just really hard races to do. So tell us. Well, first of all, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
And also, what makes sprints so hard? Tell us about your sprints.
I feel like it's probably all mental, but I never know what to do. Like I know what to do, but it's a shorter distance. So in your head, you're like, I should be able to fly through this, but then you're not used to going full blown like that. So I'm always like, oh my God, I'm giving too much. And I'm like, you're not giving too much, it's a third of what you normally do. And then I get freaked out about that. And then I don't go hard enough. And then I do go hard enough. And then
keep second guessing yourself, don't you?
Such a
going
mess.
hard enough.
All those sprinters are so fast. Like it's crazy. We have some really good racers in the club. Like I love the club races because I feel like that's when all like a lot of the people that don't race the same races as me that are really good, I like competing with them, and they're just so fast. And it's
yeah, they are fast. And what's interesting, I'm glad you mentioned that, because whenever the races you won, you beat more than half of the guys all the time too. So it's like you are one of the faster sprinters in our club races. So yeah, you're up there with the speedsters. When you come off of the bike, this is just my curiosity. When you come off of the bike on your sprint races, how are your runs?
Good. I actually feel like I excel the most in the run. It's kind of crazy. It happens every time this way. I get out of the swim and I'm like, just like everybody else, trying to get my head around and get
you're dizzy. You got vertigo.
As soon as I hit that mount bike line, like the biggest smile comes over my face. Like I'm just thrilled that the swim is done. And then I get on the bike and I start to feel good. And then as soon as I wrap the bike, it's like throughout the whole process, my smile just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And when I put the run shoes on, it's like, okay, it's go time. Like for me, that's when it's in my head, that's when it's go time. Like I'm ready to go. So
Wait, there's a chicken and the egg thing here going on. I'm wondering if you race so well because you're smiling, or you smile because you race well. You
I
know, and
don't
it's like,
know.
what do you think? What brings the smile on?
I just love being out there.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not smiling the whole time. There are definitely moments where I like am the far from smiling, but it never fails. As soon as I rack that bike and I grab those shoes, like the first 200 feet are probably my favorite of that run, because it's like
Huh.
I can check off, this is done, this is done. Now you've already completed that much, you got nothing left, and then you just go. I like
There's a mental thing going on there, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to channel you next time I get off the bike and start running, just so I can think, yes, this is fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I like
That's
that, Bob, and I really like this, Candace, that you have these things that this routine during a race that sort of you're checking it off as you're going along. Okay, swim done, boom. Now mountain line. Now I'm going to feel good. You know, having that mindset is really great, and that's neat for people to hear that you do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I love it. I definitely have those mental checkpoints, and I just love it. I mean, even when I'm having a rough day, I still manage to get a smile on there. So I think, in answer to your question, I really love the feeling I get when I'm out there.
Hmm. I have felt that. I don't feel that all the time. I sometimes push a little bit too hard, you know, and then I'm just dog at it, you know, in the run. But I love the fact that you said that the sprints are hard, and
Yeah.
because a lot of
Yeah.
people are afraid to go up to the Olympic and the you know, the half, but you know, because they're thinking, man, a sprint is hard enough. But yes, sprints can be hard. I mean, because you go out and you push. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad the other people are hearing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the other thing that a lot of times you hear people say is they did just the sprint.
Just a sprint, ain't no such thing.
No,
No.
there isn't.
You give me the choice, like, between the three, and I will choose the 70.3 first, and then I'll choose the Olympic, and then the sprint. Like, there's got to be a reward in there. Like, it's got to be, you get a great breakfast or a donut after. Like, there's got to be,
Yeah,
a
that's
reason.
funny.
That's
Those
great.
people are no joke.
All right, so let's hear about the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one?
You know, the hat that you're wearing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
the hat. Yeah.
this hat is so old. But it's one of my favorite hats. I've had it for years, and it was my first tri hat, like, that I wore in Rage.
Yeah.
And then every triathlon since then, it's been in all my majors. It's been in my first Ironman, my first half Ironman, like 3 of my half Ironmans, all of my Olympics. I think every pumpkin man I've ever done, I've like refused to not wear it. And the dog chewed it, and I can't throw it away because it's my race hat. And it's just
You wear
kind
that
of,
when you're running? You wear that on the run?
yeah, I wear it on the run. So I'll take the helmet off, and I always grab it. And it was the first time, actually, the last race that I did was the first time that I decided to change it up. But even then, I was like very hesitant, and I only wanted to change it with a black Tri Club
Oh,
visor. And I felt like I had the same, I don't know, I felt like I knew that community, so it meant something. And
Yeah.
this hat's been with me everywhere, with all my races.
That's funny. You have a lot of reasons you give yourself reasons to smile. I
Yeah.
like this,
Mhm.
this concept. I'm going to try to do some of that.
I started
See if it helps my racing.
realizing that I have a lot of like set habits that I didn't realize that I had. And I'm not superstitious at all. Like, if I got there and I didn't have my hat, I wouldn't be devastated. It's just,
Mhm.
this is the hat that makes me feel good. It's been with me. I feel like it's part of those memories and part of new memories to be made. But I noticed that when I pack my bags, like, I always take the same transition mat. I always take, there's a member gave me a tote bag for Christmas like 3 years ago. I always pack everything in that same tote bag. I take a necklace. Since Oceanside, someone gave me a shark tooth necklace, so I packed the shark tooth necklace. I never wear it, but I always bring it. And it's not like, again, it's not superstition. It's just, it becomes habit. It's like I have my triathlon suitcase, and certain things go in there.
No, that's actually great for people to hear is that you do things so that race day is just familiar and there's not a
Yeah.
lot of unknowns. And then you can focus on the race aspect and the competing aspect and not those little things. So that's really great for people to hear this.
I think you're right. I never looked at it that way. It's exactly what it is. It's familiar. And
Yeah.
that's honestly a huge part of my run is because I have that transition mat that's my members made for me. And it's like, no matter how bad I feel at the end of the bike, I see that mat and I just like, it makes me feel like,
It makes us.
God, if they believe in me, I can believe in me. And then I just
Oh.
keep going, So
And what mat is that you're
they
talking about?
made me a carpet. It was like the logo of the studio. So this is the logo of the place that I work for. And
Okay.
so they made me an octagon carpet. And at first I was like, what am I going to do with this? And then it fits perfect in the transition area
Wow.
as the mat. So now I take it with me for every and it's almost like I'm taking a little bit of
Yep.
confidence with me. It's like you said, it's familiar. So
First of all, who are they? Who
my
made it for you?
member. Okay, so I own a gym,
Right?
kickboxing.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah, I own a kickboxing gym, and my members actually surprised me when I did St. George last year. They drove out and met me at the finish line.
Oh,
So
how
I
cool.
had like 17 people come out. Oh, my husband's bringing me the carpet, and they made like all these like. This is
How
the
cool is
logo.
that?
So this is the carpet that they made and it fits the transition guidelines perfect. So now when I run off the bike, my running shoes are on here and everything.
That's
So
awesome.
the members made me the carpet, and ever since that race, it's just become my transition mat now, and I feel like they're always with me. So it's kind of cool.
Now that's cool, and that is also building on that smile thing that makes you smile. You know,
Yeah.
you look at it and your members are there with you when
Yeah.
you're standing on that mat. Not only that, it's got the right texture to knock the sand off your feet.
Yeah, it's awesome. Just little weird things like that where I'm noticing I have some interesting habits.
Well, that's
I'm
great.
taking notes. I mean, it's like yeah, this is some good stuff.
Well, and I always say, triathlon is an individual sport, but we never do them alone. And this is a really good
Oh.
story that goes along with that. All right, so tell us about some of your training, maybe your secret training. Like, how do you, although your coach is saying that you did not run today, so in the
I have to
comments.
do that after. I have to do it after today. I still have to run.
So, yeah. So give us a sense of, really within a 5, 6 year period, you've really could just continue to improve in all
Yeah.
distances. So how are you training? How are you approaching it? What are some of the advice pieces that you have for people?
So when I first started, I progressed pretty quickly in terms of my distances. So I did rage as a sprint, my first one. And then after that first sprint, I was like, I'm gonna do an Olympic. I didn't do multiple sprints. And then I did an Olympic. And then after that first Olympic, I did a half Ironman. Like I went straight from Olympic to half. And then after my first half Ironman, I went straight to full Ironman.
Oh my
Mhm.
goodness.
So I progressed every time. I never wanted to I had never had the desire to be like, oh, I'm going to just stay here. I kept progressing. What happened was I had such a rough go at biking was never my thing.
Mm,
And so I needed a coach when I signed up for the half Ironman, my first half Ironman. I wasn't going to make the bike cut off.
okay.
So I hired a coach and I hired Chip, and he's been with me ever since. Like we go riding together on Tuesdays mornings on the bike, and we were just laughing because I was telling him, the gym turns 4 this year, and he was like, "What?" And and I've known him since before it's open, so we've been together now for 5 years. It's really just been like I'm kind of the mentality of if I'm gonna hire you to do something to help me, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be hiring you if I knew. So it was literally tell me what to do and I'll do it. And so it was just he writes it all out. He has me swimming. I think I swim 2 days a week. I bike 2 to 3 days a week, and then I run 2 to 3 days a week. And it's just been kind of working with him. It wasn't until last year that I added the strength training to it. And even then, that wasn't a chip thing. That was, he told me when I did my full Ironman, you need to do strength training. And I just didn't like it.
Mhm.
I'm very fast paced, and weights just, I struggle. I get so bored. It's not fun. So what happened was I finally had a shoulder surgery, and then I went to PT. I went to
Right.
Ron. He got me not stuck. He got me introduced on weight training, and then him and Chip started working together. So after that, it started getting better even faster.
Wow.
Mm.
So
So
the weight training actually helped your speed?
it helped a ton. It helped a ton. Like, it helped prevent it. They wanted to do 2 surgeries on me. And the first one just went so bad. I had issues with the rotator cuff, and Ron was able to not, I didn't need a second surgery. He was able to fix it. So that was great. And then from
Wow.
there, it just turned into, he's like, well, you're going to keep weight training, right? And I'm like, no, I hate this. Like, I'm only here because I have a place to go and I have someone holding me accountable. So then we just switched to I just use him now for my training, like weight training. And he's able to coordinate what I need for what disciplines. He's knowledgeable in the sports. And then he can tell, he works with Chip, and Chip will tell him, this is what we're going to be focusing on. And then he keeps me healthy. So it's been great. I think the weight training was a big part of it, but I was progressing before that too. So I think the
Mm.
weight training just kind of kept me healthier in terms of quicker.
Yep.
And then the strength just kind of balanced everything out. So
Okay.
Well, what I love hearing about this is
How many
obviously
times a week
with
you
your
do
kickboxing gym, you must be training other people and you must be leading them, but yet you go out and seek a coach to train you. And I think this is a great thing for people to hear, is because that's a value to having a coach. Is you're it's one less thing that you have to do, and it is holding you accountable. And I think that's a neat approach, and it's neat to build a relationship with a coach like you have. So
yeah, I mean, he's been great. I mean, definitely become friends over the last year, but it's been cool because now he'll come with me on a race, and we've been able to race half Ironmans together. And so that's been really cool, to race next to my coach,
yeah.
to try to beat him because he's so better than
Uh,
me. I keep telling him I'm gonna get you at one point. So it's been good, and I think the biggest thing, honestly, is it's been fun.
yeah.
He's been great at keeping it fun, and I feel like if I didn't have a coach, we all go through that where we hit a wall, whether it's mental, physical. We get to that point where we're either exhausted or we've overworked ourselves into a hole, and then
Mhm.
we have a hard time getting motivated to get back out. And what's been nice about having a coach is that he's able to see that wall before it's even happened,
Mhm.
and then he'll switch it up and make it fun and help keep me from getting grumpy about it. So that's been really nice. But you're right, no matter who you are, everybody needs somebody to be accountable to, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Even
Yeah.
the best coaches in the world need a coach,
Right.
because we're all human.
No,
Well, you
that's
are
great.
making it so we're going to have to get Chip on here and
Yeah,
talk to him about his coaching and philosophy, because it sounds fantastic.
yeah, he's
And
been great.
how often do you weight train? How many days a week?
I do 2 days a week.
Okay.
2 days a week. So I went this morning. So I haven't not done anything today. I have my weight training in the morning, and my run I have tonight. I just got stuck at work, so I do have to run today.
I
You're going to
love
run
it.
after we're done here, huh?
Yeah, I am.
Thank you.
That's great. Okay, so Candace, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about 2022. What's in your sights?
So 2022, I currently have Oregon,
Okay.
half, and then I have Washington. What was it called? Not Seattle.
Maple Valley, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have Washington. And then obviously some of the locals, like the Triathlon Club races.
Yeah.
And then I think right now I'm floating with the idea of Rage, maybe not Rage. I haven't fully decided on it. I do have Revel half marathon in April.
Oh,
And then my gym team, like my gym members, they decided that they want to go to Spartan, Hawaii. So we have, in between my two half Ironmans, I have Spartan trifecta Hawaii
Well,
in one
no,
weekend.
Hawaii 70.3?
No, it's a
Spartan?
Hawaii Spartan trifecta
Oh,
weekend.
Spartan. Okay, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
Spartan. Okay, good, good.
That I have that too.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Okay.
trying not to overwhelm myself this year.
Well, this is quite the schedule, though. This is fantastic. So, of these, so you got, I wrote down Oregon, Washington, Tri Club, Revel. Is that Revel Mount Charleston?
Revel Mount, yeah, I have that in
Oh, that's good.
April.
That's the downhill one. That's,
Yeah.
yeah. I love it. And then Spartan. And how long is the Spartan race? Is that
So this one is 3 races in 2 days. So
okay?
it'll probably come out to about, we'll have a 7-mile race, and then a couple hours later a 9-mile, and then the next day will be like a 15-mile.
And this is a team that does it?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Well, and I love that. I think it like you talked about, it's keeping things fun. I mean, it's multi-sport and it's fun to do these different events. So, all right, so Oregon and Washington, the Northwest.
Yeah, I'm excited about those two. Although I really am nervous, if I'm being 100% honest, because like I was telling Bob, like I'm a climber.
Yeah.
I'm much better on the bike than when I before I had Chip. And the bike is I've actually gotten pretty good at the bike. I'm surprised. Not surprised that I've gotten better, but I just, like you said, I keep getting better and better and better. So I know I'm not tapped out yet, but I'm a climber.
No.
And so those races are not climbing.
No.
So I'm gonna have to train a little different so I don't die.
Yeah.
You're gonna surprise yourself. I'd put money on it, because climbing makes you strong, and you get on a flat, I think you're just gonna smoke it.
I don't know. I mean,
I'd put money on it.
we'll be training and we'll hit like 5 miles of flat, and I'm like, I need a break. I need a break. It's got to be different muscles, right? Like
Yeah.
it can't just be in my head.
No, it is a little different. So you're right.
Yeah.
And obviously a hilly course would give you an advantage on your run as well, because it makes the bike longer, but you're such a good runner.
Yeah.
That would work towards your advantage. So why did you pick Oregon and Washington? What was
Because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, and the pictures looked beautiful. Like
it's a downriver swim.
Yeah, that one I didn't really notice until after I heard everyone, but I'm a destination racer. I like to go places, and they just look so pretty.
I love that you want to get out of your comfort zone. I think that's really neat to challenge yourself this way. So that's
there's I forget where I saw it from, but the only way to grow is to step out of your comfort zone. And if you don't, you're not going to grow. So it's like that's big kudos to you.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I might not be smiling on that bike.
Well, but you're being Oregon and Washington, and the Northwest is like you said, just so beautiful. You've been there before, or?
No, I haven't.
Are you going to drive?
We're going up there at the right time. It's going to be hot down here.
I think we're gonna fly. That one I'm supposed to be going. One of my other friends is supposed to be racing that with me. I don't want to call them out yet, but we'll both be flying, I believe, for that one. As long as everything goes well. But yeah, I'm excited and a little nervous. I got my work cut out for me on the bike. And it's funny because when we did, I went to do the Air Force ride with the group, and I was riding next to Jamie, and she was like, she's super fast, like she's super fast, and she's like, come on, we can keep up with them. I'm like, I don't know about this, but I did that because it was all flat, and I was like, oh, this will be a good test. And then there was that one little spot that goes uphill, and we would get to that spot, and everybody would be complaining about going up the hill, and I'd be like, finally a hill, like I don't want to go back on the flat.
Yeah, that's a great route actually for training for Oregon and Washington.
Yeah, have you guys ever done either one of those two?
Neither of those races, no.
Yeah,
but I lived up in Eugene, so it's a beautiful area, and Corvallis is just north of that. So
Yeah, I think Washington will be interesting because everything that I've read on it, it's like a 50-50 for rain
Mhm.
that time of year. Like it seems like every other half there, they're in rain.
Yeah.
So that'll also put me out of my comfort zone a bit too. So
Well, we were talking right before we started that eventually your out of comfort zone will be taking your Jeep and camping out at a race. So
yeah, that's true.
we'll have a camp out.
Hey, I had a question. You were talking about your, your kickboxing studio, and I don't know if everybody caught that you own and run a kickboxing studio. How does that translate into triathlon? Does that give you any muscular advantage or
I feel
coordination or anything?
it definitely helps with the endurance side of things, right? Because we're really big on like we do 3-minute rounds. And so it's kind of like push yourself and then take a minute rest. Push yourself, take a minute rest. So I think the benefit to that is that it has helped in my overall endurance. And then at the beginning, we do a warm up where we do a lot of things like the push ups, burpees, sit ups, things like that, that do kind of help with overall just body weight type of
Mhm.
transitions and
Hmm.
exercises. But I do notice a difference in my stamina when I do add that
Hmm.
back in.
Mm.
And then, of course, it comes to a
That's
point
interesting.
where I get so close to a race where I do have to take it out just because, with the kicking and the punching, the last thing you want to do after you've trained for this race for 4 months is, you know,
You had a killer thigh bruise or something.
well, we don't beat people up, but you just, you got to wean it down. So it definitely does help though. Especially in this, I feel like the sprint distance, which are harder for me, I feel like the kickboxing helps with that because
Yeah.
it's all
I can
out. I
see
get
that.
used to
I can
going,
see that.
yeah, all out for that time frame.
Cool. Cool.
That's great. And how often do you kickbox? How does that integrate with the training?
Well, in a perfect world, I usually will do 1 to 2 a week.
Mm.
I, again, trying not to overtrain and beat myself up. My coaches would probably love it if I just benched it. But it's part of what I like to do. So, probably not more than once a week.
Okay.
Before, if I was doing the smaller distances, it would be different. But
Mhm.
with the 70s, you've got 2-hour training days, 4-hour training days, you have all these different things that are going on. So, it's hard. And I'm a mom. I know there are a lot of moms, but I'm a mom. I own a business and I'm training for these races. Like,
Holy
plus
cow.
I'm a wife, you know what I mean? So it's like sometimes if I have to give something up, I'm also there most of the day. So sometimes, unfortunately, my kickboxing has to take a back seat
Mhm.
if I want to focus on the training for the bigger races because it just takes too much time.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's easy to look at your results and say, "Oh, wow, she just has it all." But it's a balancing act with life and work and family, and I'm really glad you brought that up. So, yeah,
Yeah, more
but a real
balanced than
testament
most.
to what you are doing, and you're being very successful.
Yeah, it's not easy. And I feel like sometimes, we just got to kind of do the best that we can. And
Mhm.
I think at the end of the day, you have to love the sport. Otherwise, it's like today's a perfect example, right? I woke up, had to get my kids to school, had to get them there, went straight from the kids' school to weight training, was at Ron's for, an hour and a half, then went straight to work, then went and dropped off something for the kids, then came back to work, then came home. Now I'm on with you and I gotta go run after this.
Your
And
your
I
hat
still
your
Great.
hat
have
should your hat should say "Life Warrior."
some days it does not work out as great as it should, but
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. This is probably the first sport that I've ever stayed with.
Yeah.
Like I've ran all kinds of other things and
Mhm.
this is the longest thing I've ever stayed with and I feel like it's because it's just me.
Mhm.
Like, it is a team commitment, right? I do have like a coach that's helping me and I do have like my mom who's this massive support. She comes to every race and like she's a
She's
huge part
great.
of my team. Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah, my
he's
husband,
one of my heroes. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, no matter how much they support and love me, that's not going to get my bike ride done. So it's kind of like, I love the mental push of it.
Mhm.
It's you. And I think that's kind of why I have keep getting better and better, because it's like, I feel like I'll get done with a race and I'm like, I still have a little bit more left. I know I have a little bit more left. And so that drives me too. It's like, it's not about winning places. That's nice. And I love to do it. And I definitely enjoy it being on the podium. But when am I going to be able to say, like, I've officially done my best?
Yeah.
I can't say that yet. I still have more.
No.
Interesting thought.
Oh, this is so great, Kaz. I'm glad we've caught back up with you and we've repeated, and you know, it's been neat talking with you before and talking with you now. And I gotta say, I really appreciate you coming down and doing the Tri Club races. You're a high level athlete, and it's neat for people to see what they can get to. And so that's really neat that you know, our races serve as, you know, really competition, but they also serve for people who are just getting into the sport and want to try something. And so it is great that you come down and are very active in the club that way.
I love it too, because I feel like every time I go to a club race, I learn something from someone. Like, not necessarily from talking to someone, but just from watching. Like,
Yeah.
oh, look how that person transitioned. Like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Or, oh, look how that person did this when they were running. I'm like, dang it, why didn't I think of that? So I always learn something.
Well, that's cool.
That's true, and people are learning from you, and so you're a good leader in our community. So thank you. This has been great to catch up with you. It's always fun talking with you, and I do hope that we end up in the same camp spot for one of these races somewhere along the way.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah, this went by like entirely too fast. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited for this year.
Awesome. Okay, have a good
So am I.
evening.
Yeah, bye.